Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our Hindu newspaper. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see the topics of the day first. First article it is about Trump asserts India cut import of Russian crude to please him. So actually in yesterday's class we discussed that in month of November 2025 we import huge amount of crude oil from this Russia. So because of this now again today there is one article regarding US is asserting India to cut imports from this Russia. So this article is imported from GS paper 2 under international relations. And next topic is police in states step up social media monitoring. So actually what happened in recent days there is increased use of social media. Because of that there is increased crimes related to this cyber. So because of this now police in states they are having special monitoring cells related to this social media. So this topic is important from governance point of view from GS paper 2. Our next topic is Prime Minister to visit Somnath Temple on January 11th. So after this year, which is around 1000 anniversary of attacking of the Somnath Temple. So because of this, there is a very high chance of getting question in your prelims related to this Somnath Temple this year, and you have to prepare well about this topic. And this topic is important from your history point of view from GS paper 1. And next topic is Coast Guard adds pollution control vessel to its fleet. So this topic already we discussed in yesterday's class, and this topic is important from your science and technology and as well as security from GS paper 3. And next topic is hierarchy of rules. So actually this article is talking about Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and this if you want to understand this present context you have to know about 2020 Delhi riots case, and we are going to see that as well. And this topic is important from your governance from GS paper 2. And next topic is Indian aviation safety, its dangerous credibility deficit. So actually this article pointed out like from last 15 years onwards, three major accidents happen in our country. So here this article is focusing on improving of safety of aviation in our country. Here you have to see what are the challenges we are facing in our aviation sector, and you have to see what are the steps taken by the government so far to improve aviation safety. And this topic is important from again governance point of view from GS paper 2. And next topic it is about Shanti bill. Already we discussed about this article earlier, but there is one article in your text and context which talks about it, and we are going to see that. And this topic is important from your governance from GS paper 2. All these are the articles now we are going to see in this class. Okay, now look at the title. Trump asserts India cut import of Russian crude to please him. What is article talking about? It is talking about crude oil that we are importing from Russia. Okay, now you guys tell me why we are importing this crude oil from Russia. Because Russia is providing it at a discounted price, that is a cheap cost. And actually India needs every day how many million barrels? 1.81 million barrels of crude oil, that too every day we want this 1.81 million barrels. Do we have this crude oil reserves in our country? Very less, especially we have in this Mumbai high region and as well as Assam Digboy region. So here based on that reserves we can get 20% of oil that we require for our country, but remaining 80% we are importing from other countries. In yesterday's class I gave you a homework. What is that? I asked you to list out the countries from which we are importing the oil. Now tell me guys, from which countries we are importing the oil? All online students, please tell me in the comment box. Okay, we are getting from Russia. From this Russia, around 30 to 40% of our oil needs we are getting from Russia. Next one is US. Next, yes, Iraq, UAE, yes. Okay, West African countries. Yes, West Asian countries, and even Venezuela. Regarding this Venezuela also we discussed yesterday's class. What we discussed in yesterday's class regarding this Venezuela? We are importing only less than 0.3 percentage of oil from this Venezuela. Earlier, before 2014, we used to import good amount. But from 2018-19 onwards, because of this fear of US sanctions, we decreased our Venezuela's oil imports. So now Venezuela is in crisis. And even the president, Nicolas, had been taken away by this US after military strikes on this Venezuela. Not only president, even president wife also had been taken away, and they are going to be trailed in now US courts. What is the reason why this Venezuela president had been taken away by US? They said that they on this president from 2020 onwards there are charges regarding narco terrorism, drug trafficking, and even that guy is involved in supply of drugs in US by using certain Venezuelan gangs. And even in 2024 elections of this Venezuela also, he misused his power and he did some malpractice in elections. So because of all these things, US is saying that we did one operation to clean Venezuela, and now we caught that president and as well as president wife, and we are going to trail now in US. And because of this, what happened now? Oil imports and oil prices will be getting affected. Why? Because Venezuela is a country which is having world's largest oil reserves. So if this kind of instability happened in this Venezuela, obviously global oil prices will be getting affected. But India is not going to be affected because we are importing very less from this Venezuela. Okay, so this is some thing that you have to know what is happening across the world related to this oil, and from these are the countries from which India is importing oil, right? So now what happened, what we discussed in yesterday's class, we discussed that in the month of November 2025, in month of November 2025, India import high amount of oil from this Russia. So because of this, what happened? And again, US is asking India to reduce our imports from this Russia. Why US wants to reduce import of India from this Russia? What is the main reason? US wants to mediate Russia-Ukraine war. US wants to end this Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, so if you see this Russia-Ukraine war, US wants to stop it. How US wants to stop it? US wants to hit this Russia economically. If US is hitting Russia economically, if they're not having proper money and funds, obviously they can stop this war. From where Russia is getting economy? By selling off their defense equipments. That is of one important source. And second one is oil and as well as natural gas. So because of this, what US did is, recently US came up with this Russian Sanction Act of 2025, and US said that the countries which are importing oil and as well as natural gas from this Russia, now they are going to attract sanctions. And they said we are going to impose around 500 percentage of sanctions, and these sanctions are called as secondary sanctions. Okay, under the secondary sanctions, now India is attracting 50 percentage of tariff on Indian goods. So now what US is saying that, yes, India, you are importing more amount of oil from this Russia, and in November you got good amount of oil. If you are not going to reduce this kind of imports from Russia, now not 50%, we are going to impose 500%. So this is about this article. Clear? Okay, now you guys tell me what is the impact of this kind of statements made by US on India. Will it impact India any way or not? Because of this 50% only, our most labor intensive sectors like textiles got affected, especially in AP, shrimp industry got affected, leather industry got affected. So lots of MSMEs got affected because of this 50% tariff. And you can imagine how it is going to impact India's economy if US is imposing 500 percentage of tariff. And recently US also made one statement, India is dumping rice in US and we are going to improve sanctions or increase sanctions on this rice also. So because of this, our rice imports will also be getting affected. Okay, so this is about in detail, and this is the background that you have to know to understand this article. Clear? And now let us see the details of oil imports from Russia so that you can understand why US is coming with this kind of statements. If you see the context, this article says that US President Donald Trump claimed that Indian Prime Minister reduced India's import of Russian oil to make him happy. So whenever US came up with this Russian Sanction Act, at that time India reduced imports from 40 percentage to 38 percentage, right? So US president saying that yes, initially reduced this import to make Trump happy, but later on from October onwards we increased our imports from this Russia. That is a statement which mainly said here. So if you see actual changes in Russia's oil imports, in month of October 2025, India cut down this Russian oil imports by 38 percentage. And later on from October onwards again the imports had been raised, and we imported 6-month high imports in the month of November 2025. That's the thing which mainly said in this article, guys. Okay, what are the potential impacts of the reduction and as well as US pressure? If we are falling under this pressure of US and if we are decreasing our imports from Russia, obviously we have economic impact. What is that economic impact? If you are reducing our imports from Russia and if you are bringing from other countries, will they give at the discounted price? No. What happens? Overall diesel and petrol price in India will be increased. If this diesel and petrol price will increase, overall transportation cost in our country will be increased. That will lead to the increased final goods and services cost. That condition is called as inflation. Yes. So because of this US pressure, if we are decreasing imports, then what happened? It may lead to increased price of petrol and diesel. That will lead to overall increase of price of goods and service in the market. And what happens? What about the household income savings? Increase or reduces? So the expenditure will be increased. That means overall savings of this households will be getting decreased. So it will be having most impact on which families? Middle income families in India. Okay, next one here is what about trade and trade deficit? So if you are importing more with high cost, we have to pay more. So what happens? Trade deficit will widens and we have to pay in foreign currency. What are the foreign currency we save till today? We have to spend now. That will lead to decreasing of forex reserves in our country. Okay, and next one here is, here US is saying that we are going to impose this 500 percentage of tariff on Indian goods. Then whatever the exports we are doing to this US will be obviously get affected. So our exports to US will be drastically reduced. So because of this, what happened? With US only we are enjoying trade surplus. So this will be going to be missed. And next one here is Indian goods will not be competitive in US markets. So if Indian goods are not competitive in US markets, which country goods are alternative in US? Vietnam, Bangladesh and Chinese goods. So the goods from these countries will be getting more demand in other countries. And next one here is we cannot maintain energy security in our country. Okay, so that is the thing, guys. So in this way you have to analyze each and every possible way from different subjects point of view, then only you can write multi-dimensional answer. Okay, now let us see the next article. Look at the title, read out the title. Police in states step up social media monitoring. So this article is saying that there is increased surveillance of our police in states and UTs in social media. So why there is a need of increasing of social media monitoring? Can anyone tell me why we have to focus on the social media monitoring the most? Can you tell me some examples of social media platforms that you use? WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram. Okay, what is happening in this WhatsApp new feature? We can do payments and even AI content is also increasing. So what is happening in Instagram? Lots of businesses are operating on this Instagram, Telegram. So have you ever lost your money? Many of you might, I think, especially girls. Yes. So what is happening here? There is increasing of cyber crimes in the social media platforms, and there is increased number of cases related to this social media platforms. So because of this now, our state police are establishing dedicated cells, okay, only to see this social media related cases. So now let us see this article. You may get directly a mains based question regarding the social media, cyber crime, and how we have to be aware. And in 2024, there is also one essay regarding directly social media misuse. Okay, you have to see from that point of view as well. If you see the context, it says that Indian police departments across different states and as well as union territories, they have significantly expanded dedicated social media monitoring cells. Actually, in 2020, we have only just 262, but by 2024, we increase it to 365. Okay, so this is the data which is given as per Ministry of Home Affairs. Why? Because there is increased digital surveillance, because we want to address the cases related to cyber crimes, misinformation, public order threats in these different platforms. Which are those platforms? Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Insta, and Snapchat. So in all these platforms, there is increased cyber related cases. So we have to address that. So finally, our government is increasing the surveillance. So if you see the details, this article is saying that we are establishing specialized social media labs. Please make a note. How we are controlling social media, write down under that. The first one is government is establishing specialized social media labs. And these labs are having advanced tools for real-time analysis, tracking, and intelligence gathering related to the case and crimes. And recently our government of India also gave the statement that the social media platforms has to use AI to automatically detect and as well as remove this pornographic and abuse content. So that is also a thing that you can add here. And recent developments in 2025 to 2026 is Telangana government came up with a plan to monitor habitual social media offenders. So who are repeatedly doing this kind of crimes, we have to identify them. That is a upgrade which mainly made by the Telangana government. And even Karnataka government increased deployment during the events like Dasra, and they are having continuous growth and increasing of social media related crimes. So states also, they are coming up with own kind of initiatives to control this kind of crimes in social media. And next one here is our central government came up with certain platforms. Please make a note. First one is Sahyog platform to take down the request of this kind of crimes in social media. And next one is Netra. Netra, it is a digital policing service. Okay, so these are the different kinds of initiatives came up by the government of India and as well as different states to control this kind of social media threats. And why this kind of steps are taken by the government now is there is rapid growth of internet and as well as social media users in India. Earlier there were just 250 million users, but this 250 million had been increased to 400 millions. So because of this, obviously whenever there is increasing of population who is using that, will leads to the increasing of this kind of crimes. That is the first one. And next one is there is increased misuse of the social media by these antisocial elements, and as well as there is increasing of disharmony, spreading of rumors, and as well as criminal activities. And even now it is very easy to create any content that you want by using these AI platforms. So here they are using this AI and as well as ChatGPT like that, and they are developing content and they are posting whatever they want. So because of this, that is creating misinformation, disinformation circulation in the social media platforms. And next one here is there is increased social media related crimes also. In Bangalore, in the first 9 months of 2025, there is 21% of increased fraud cases, misinformation cases, public mischief, etc. So here government has to take certain steps to control this kind of things. And this one is we need to have the real-time intelligence gathering so that we can analyze public sentiments, behavior patterns, and we can track criminal networks, and we can predict which kind of events can happen in that area like riots or protest by the people. So for that we need to have intelligence gathering system for sure. And this one here is there is increased evolving of cyber crimes. So day by day, the crimes are increasing and the new types of crimes are coming into picture. And recently we discussed about digital arrest. One old couple, they lost some crores of rupees in this digital arrest. And after that, government of India gave more powers for the CBI to track that kind of cases. We discussed that recently. I don't know whether you can recall or not. It is about digital arrest. So what is happening here? If we are coming up with this kind of new crimes, we need to update ourselves to try to address that kind of new crimes. For that, we need to have upgradation. Okay. So those are the needs. And what are the impacts of this kind of steps taken by the government? Obviously, we can improve crime protection, prevention as well as protection of people, and we can have predictive analysis, and we can control rumors, misinformation in this social media platforms, and we can take timely interventions so that we can reduce cyber frauds. And this one is we can also increase our efficiency in protecting of money of the people, because most in the social media platforms, because of certain threats, they may ask you to transfer certain amount of money like that. So here you can also save the resources of the people. And next one here is we can also improve the privacy, and as well as we can also control this free speech concern. So actually in our constitution we have article 19(1)(a), which talks about freedom of speech and expression. But all these fundamental rights which are given in our constitution, they are not absolute. We can keep reasonable restrictions under article 19 subclass 2. So now government of India is using that article 19 subclass 2, and it is controlling this freedom of speech and expression. Okay, yeah, that's it guys. And see this article, very very important, and keep star mark. And the students, if you are writing this 2026 prelims, for sure you'll get question regarding the Somnath temple. Okay, title says Prime Minister to visit Somnath temple on January 11th. So why our Prime Minister is visiting? If you see here, this 2026 marks 1000th anniversary of first attack on shrine. If you go back to 1000 years ago, what is the year? 1026, right? So in this year 1026, for the first time, the Somnath temple was attacked by whom? Hmm? Ghazni, Muhammad Ghazni. So because of this, now this year 2026 marks 1000th anniversary. So in history, how can you expect the questions is like if it is 50th anniversary, 75th anniversary, 100th anniversary, 125th anniversary, 150th anniversary, 200th anniversary, or 500th anniversary, 1000th anniversary, like that, you have to go back and you have to try to revise that kind of events which happen in our modern history, medieval history, and ancient history, so that you can expect at least 2 to 3 questions in your history. Okay, so one such a topic here is 1000th anniversary of attack on the Somnath temple. Okay, so here how can you get a question is, they'll give you simple kind of question. Consider the following statements regarding Somnath temple, and they'll give you 3 to 4 statements, and they may ask you which of the above statements are correct or incorrect, or how many statements are correct or incorrect. Or else they'll give you a pair based question. On one side they'll give you temples, on one side they'll give you the states or the god which is worshipped in that, and they may ask you how many pairs are correct or which pairs are correct. So in these 2 ways you can expect a question from this area. And this temple architecture in your art and culture is very very important. Many a times a question asked directly from this temple architecture. There is one simple question asked in your temple architecture in 2018 or 17. Panchayatana style is related to, it is related to temple architecture. So like that, you will be getting simple questions and even this kind of complicated questions from temple architecture. Okay, now let us see certain facts regarding this Somnath temple. Somnath temple is a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. So here UPSC can change this Lord Shiva to Lord Vishnu. Okay, mother goddess. So like that. So you have to be very careful about the god which is worshipped in that temple. And it is located in Prabhas Patan in the west coast of Gujarat. They may change this. Gujarat to Tamil Nadu, Gujarat to Odisha, like that. So you have to remember this. It is in Gujarat. And is the first of 12 Jyotirlinga shrines in India. And the site of Somnath has been a pilgrimage site from ancient times on account of being Triveni Sangam. What is this Triveni Sangam? Triveni, three means three, right? So actually this is the place where three rivers meet. Which are those three rivers? Kapila, Hiran and Saraswati. Please make a note of this. Kapila, Hiran and Saraswati. Kapila, Hiran, Saraswati. And this temple timeline traced back to 649 BC, and even we can believe that this is much more earlier than this. And this temple was attacked by Muhammad Ghazni in 11th century. It is around 1026, and this temple was constructed based on Chalukya style. On this also UPSC can ask a question: Dravidian style, Vesara style, Nagara style, Chalukyan style, Solanki style. So like that we have different styles of temple architecture, right? So you have to see exactly to which temple architecture it belongs to. And the reconstruction was completed by Vallabhai Patel. And actually the reconstruction started in year 1951 during the time of Rajendra Prasad, and finally it was completed by this Vallabhai Patel. Okay. Now let us see the next article. Look at the title. Coast Guard adds pollution control vessel to its fleet. So this year for sure you can expect this question. Samudra Pratap. In yesterday's class I said no about this. Let us see some more important facts regarding this. There are more details which are given in this today's article. So try to add these points to the yesterday's notes. Okay, so as you all know that our Indian Coast Guard ship ICGS Samudra Pratap is first of two indigenously designed pollution control vessels. They are focusing on pollution only. So here UPSC can ask a question like they are for anti-submarine warfare. They are aircraft carrier. So like that they will change the word. So actually they are pollution control vessels. And here around 60% of this content is made in India only. Okay, that is nothing but 60% of indigenous content used in this building of this ship. And next one here is this vessel is built by Goa Shipyard Limited. Next one here is it is having capability of pollution response, firefighting, maritime safety, environment protection, and even extended surveillance across countries' vast maritime zone. So these are the advantages. Yeah, that's it guys. So just read this area and try to make the notes from this. And let us see the next article. So this article talks about hierarchy of roles. And this one is the state must not be allowed to normalize prolonged incarceration. So to understand this, you have to go back to 2020. So this case is related to 2020 Delhi riots. Okay. So will people do protest without any reason? No. That means there is some reason behind this Delhi riots. Go back to 2019. What is a major thing came up by the government in 2019? 2019? Huh? BJP won. Next. Huh? Yes, very good. Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019. What is the Citizenship Amendment Act said? India is sharing boundary with different countries. Here we have Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, right? So these three countries are Islamic countries, Islam dominated countries, yes. And actually India is facing problem of migration, illegal migration. What government said in this Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 is migrants who came from these three Islamic countries who are non-Muslims. Who are non-Muslims, for example, Hindus, Buddhist, Parsis, Jains, Christians, Sikhs. For these 6 communities who entered India before December 31st, 2014, they are going to get citizenship in India. So that is the thing which mainly said in this Citizenship Amendment Act. We are going to give citizenship from the migrants from these 3 countries, Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, who belongs to which communities? Non-Muslim communities like Hindus, Buddhists, Parsis, Jains, Christians and as well as Sikhs. If they entered India before this deadline, we are going to give citizenship. So what is happening here? It is against Muslims. So will these Muslims be silent? No. They did this riots in 2020. Okay, so here our government of India is saying that it is a planned riots and certain people who are involved in that so and so riots, they were arrested under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So there are majorly around 6 to 7 people they were arrested. So in that arrested people, 2 persons, their names is, I'll tell you the names, I can't remember the names. 2 persons, for these 2 persons, the bail is not given, but remaining around 4 people, they got bail. Okay, based on their hierarchy. So these are the 2 main people who involved in this organizing of riots according to the government of India, and they didn't get the bail, but remaining who played less role, they got the bail. So because of this, now it is in news. Here you have to know about this. What is this UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act? I think you might have studied about that Unlawful Activities Prevention Act in your security from GS paper 3, right? The same thing here you have to say about what is that act, what are the provisions of this act, and you have to see about what is this Delhi riots case. Clear? On this UAPA, for sure you may get question in your prelims. Consider the following statements regarding UAPA. Okay. Now let us see this article. Supreme Court of India denied bail for Umar Khalid and Imam. For Khalid and Imam in this 2020 Delhi riots case, under this Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, they didn't get this bail. But remaining other people who involved in this, they got the bail. So because of this is in news. Okay, so this article is saying that the decision of Supreme Court is showing certain concerns because they are arrested without any trail in these cases, and even they are in this jail from 2020 onwards, but there is no trail, and even if they are applying for the bail also, our Supreme Court is not giving bail. So because of this, what is happening here? There is violation of their right to life and personal liberty. Article 21 is getting violated. So because of this, it is in news case. Okay, now let us see what is this 2020 Delhi riots. In February 2020, a large-scale communal violence broke out in northeastern Delhi because of this Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019. And in this violence, around 54 people they were died, and lots of loss of properties happened in this event. And Delhi police alleged that the riots were not spontaneous, but they were premeditated, and there is a conspiracy involving certain activists in these events. And based on this, several persons like Khalid, Imam, they were charged under this UAPA Act of 1967, and even other people, they were also arrested under this UAPA. Okay, yeah. So if you see about certain facts regarding this UAPA, what is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act? So this act will give the power to this government of state to deal with activities that are threatening the sovereignty and integrity of India. If there are any activities which are unintended, which are going to affect our national security sovereignty, our government can arrest those people. And next one here is, we made amendments to this law in 2004, 2008, 2012 and as well as 2019. So now after these amendments, now central government can designate not only organizations but even individuals can be designated and denotify them as terrorist. And if you see the provisions of this act, the first one here is they gave the detailed definition of what is a terrorist act. This terrorist act, which covers any acts intended to threaten India's unity, sovereignty, security, and as well as integrity. For example, if they are using any bombs or explosives, firearms, or any other means, that kind of activities are called as terrorist activities according to this act. And this one here is what is a punishment? Punishment is very severe under this act: death penalty or life imprisonment for this kind of terrorist activities. And next one here is this act, which also criminalizes acts supporting secession or secession of Indian territory or disrupting sovereignty. And through this 2019 amendment, now government can also recognize any person as a terrorist. And if you want to get the bail under these cases, it is extremely restrictive. Bail cannot be granted. If court find out reasonable grounds, then only they will be giving the bail. Bail is very, very difficult in this kind of cases. And next one here is police can seek 180 days of detention without any filing of charge sheet. So without filing of any charge sheet, we can arrest any person, we can kept under the jail for 180 days. 180 days means around 6 months, right? And if possible, we can also extend that. But normally, if you are doing any criminal act, so under this criminal law, without charging of any file, so we can keep under 2 months to 3 months. But under this act only, we can extend that to more than 6 months. Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title: Indian aviation safety, its dangerous credibility deficit. So actually, what is happening in India? There is no proper aviation safety in our country. In yesterday's class, we discussed one article regarding aviation. What is that? Our government of India is going to have multiple airports in major cities. What is the reason that we discussed in yesterday's class? There is increased air traffic, air passengers. So because of this, whatever the airports which are there now, they are like overburdened. They are not going to handle this kind of passengers. So because of this, we are going to remove this 150 kilometers rule now. What is this 150 kilometers rule? 150 kilometer rule says that within this radius of 150 kilometers, we should not have more than one airport. So we are going to remove that. In major cities now, we can have 2-3 airports based on the air traffic now. That is the thing that we discussed in yesterday's class. Obviously, we'll be getting this kind of articles if you are getting that kind of major articles. Okay. Now here you have to see about what are the challenges we are facing in our aviation. First one is airport congestion. Major airports like Delhi, Mumbai, they are operating beyond their capacity. Okay, because of this, what is happening here? Sometimes the delaying of flights can happen, and there is increased risk of runway incursions. Okay, so this is the problem now. And next one here is we are not having proper air traffic management. In India, the major problem is ATC shortage. ATC is nothing but air traffic controllers. There is no proper recruitment and as well as training of this ATCs. That is the one important thing. And next one is whatever the systems that we are using regarding this ATC, they are outdated systems. We are not upgrading our systems. That is the next challenge. And next one here is obviously pilot shortage and training quality. As you know, recently what happened with this Indigo? Because of this relaxing of flight hours, number of flying hours for the pilots, because of this shortage of these pilots, mostly thousands of flights had been cancelled in a single day. That happened in the recently, right? So here we have shortage of pilots, and even if you want to have this pilot training in India also, it is very, very costly and expensive. And so one here is there is outdated or inadequate flying training organization. So what happened here is nowadays different companies are manufacturing different aeroplanes, and from one company to another company there is lots of changes. But what is happening here? Whatever the training that you are getting for this pilot, it is like under trained. So they are not upgrading their things related to this advancements in this different aeroplanes. And next one here is fatigue management. So if you are continuously flying, what happens if you are flying in the stratosphere? Normally aeroplanes will be flying in the stratosphere, right? Not in troposphere. So what happens here? So there will be air pressure deficit. So because of this, it will be having impact on the human body if you're continuously flying beyond certain hours. But pilots, they are flying, pilots and as well as crew members, they are flying beyond their things. So because of this, they are going to have certain health impacts. That is a one more thing here. And this one here is there is shortage of aircraft maintenance engineers. So as you all know that Indigo flights, they are the highest operating flights in India. So without any rest, they will be going on flying only. So because of this, if there is any maintenance means, they have to cancel that complete flight routes. So actually it is also one important problem. There is no proper maintenance engineers related to this aeroplanes in India. And next one here is aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul ecosystem is very bad in our country. Okay, for example, do you know for Air India flights, we have to send to other countries for this maintenance and overhaul. So we don't have maintenance overhaul facilities in our country. So again, that is one major reason behind this Air India crash. Okay, and even supply chain disruptions and engine issues. And actually, you know that we have two engines. So normally, whenever the birds are flying in this area, means obviously because of this, what is that pressure? Sometimes these birds will be succumbed into this engine so that they will be not getting proper air. So if these engines are not getting the air, the burning of fuel cannot happen in the engines. So because of this, also recently one issue happened, and what happened was like safe landing was happened finally, but the bird succumbed in the engine. I think recently 15 or 20 days ago, that is in the news. That is also one important problem. Air India only, right? Yeah. So here government of India is taking lots of steps to improve our aviation safety or aeroplane safety in our country. So please make a note. The first one is Bharatiya Vayuyan Adhiniyam 2024. So actually it is a landmark law which came into effect from January 1st, 2025, replacing nearly century-old Aircraft Act. In India, the act which is related to aviation safety dates back to 1934, and recently we replaced that with this Bharatiya Vayuyan Adhiniyam. So it is focusing on modernizing of our Indian aviation system, and we have to follow global standards. Regarding this global standards, which convention talks about it? Chicago Convention. So we are going to operate this Chicago Convention rules in our country to maintain global standards according to this new law in our country. And next one here is this law which also defined roles of authorities. So we have DGCA. What is this DGCA? Directorate General of Civil Aviation. It is a primary regulatory body, and this body is responsible for safety oversight, licensing, certification, everything in our country. And we have Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, and it is focusing on aviation security. And not only that, we have Aircraft Accidents Investigation Bureau. And this is one independent body which is focusing on investigation of aircraft accidents. So like that, we have three bodies which will be telling about the aeroplane safety, aircraft safety, and they have their own roles and responsibilities which had been said in this new act in our country. And next one is we have even stricter penalties, and our government is showing zero tolerance towards this kind of accidents. Okay, next one here is we are using Gagan. Gagan is nothing but GPS aided geo augmented navigation system. Gagan is India's own satellite based augmentation system, and it is operational since 2015 onwards. So what is the problem here is if you are dependent on other countries' system, if the relations are not good, obviously that signals will be getting distracted. So because of this, it will be impacting entire our aviation industry. So because of this, our government of India came up with this Gagan. It is India's own satellite based system, and it is accurate, and as well as we integrated that with our GPS signal so that we improved navigation system in our country. And next one here is we have traffic collision avoidance system. So normally accidents happens on the road, that you know, but even in this air space also accidents can happen. So to avoid that, our government of India came up with this traffic collision avoidance system and even ground proximity warning system. So because of this, what happens? We can try to avoid this accidents in this airspace. And next one is we have international collaboration. like ICTAO, IATA, like that with other countries, so that we are ensuring aviation safety in our country. So like that, Government of India took lots of steps to control aviation safety in our country. And see this article, guys, already you know about this Shanti bill, right? What is the full form of this Shanti? Sustainable harnessing and advancement of nuclear energy in India bill. So this Shanti bill is focusing on what? Nuclear energy. What this bill says, already we discussed in our earlier class. Come on. Now we are going to encourage private sector in this nuclear energy production. What is the target of India? By 2047, we have to produce around 100 gigawatts of nuclear energy. But as of 2024-2025 data, how much we are producing? Only 3%. Only 3% we are producing as of now. But our target is we have to produce 100 gigawatts by 2047. So for that, our government of India came up with changes regarding earlier laws which are governing nuclear power production in our country, and we are giving more permissions for this private sector. Okay, so here this bill removes supplier liability, caps operator liability, and here we are focusing on creation of nuclear liability fund, and we are going to enhance the production here. So actually this bill is focusing on enhancing of energy security, and we want to provide 24/7 base load power, and we want to support clean energy and as well as net zero targets, and we want to improve small modular reactors, and as well as we want to improve advanced reactor technologies in our country. Okay, so these are the important aims of this Shanti bill, guys. Already we discussed this in our earlier class. In this December monthly magazine, I clearly gave about this in your mains module. Okay, magazine you'll get today. Yeah, say this. Questions, guys. First one is with reference to Samudra class vessels, which of the following are the key features of ICS Samudra Pratap? There are three statements. First one is it is designed primarily for anti-piracy operations in Indian Ocean. The vessel enhances India's capacity to address oil spills and environmental protection at sea. Next one is it is part of class built by ABD Shipyard in Gujarat. Huh? One only, two only, one and three only, two and three only. Where it was produced? Goa. It is for pollution, it is not for anti-piracy for sure. So like that, they may change the things. You have to be very much careful. Okay, see this next question. Consider the following statements about UAPA 1967. The 2019 amendment allows central government to designate individuals as terrorists. It provides for denotification of terrorist organizations but not individuals. The act includes provisions for transfer of shares from terrorist-linked companies to the government. Which are the correct? First one. First one is for sure correct only, right? That is the amendment that we made. From 2019 onwards, we can designate this individuals as terrorists. And it provides denotification of terrorist organizations but not individuals. Here they are saying individuals, here they are not saying individuals. So these two are contradictory statements. That means in these two statements only one will be right. If you are getting that kind of statements, obviously you know this is right, then this will be wrong. So in this way, if you are getting one statement is saying yes, one statement is saying no, only one will be right. Okay. And next one here is this act includes provisions for transfer of shares. If we are notifying or if we are designating any organization individual as a terrorist, whatever the assets they are having, we can transfer it. That is a power which is given to the government. So here this is also right. So correct answer will be B, 1 and 3 only. And say this next question, guys. The present day Somnath temple was reconstructed in which of the following styles of architecture? Dravidan, Vesara, Chalukya, Nagara. So in this way, now you will say, but in examination hall, you have to identify that right. Okay. So these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindi newspaper, guys. By this, I'm concluding. If you really like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends and do subscribe to Rathod Science Academy. Don't forget. If you want to get the PDF of this class, please do join the Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. Thank you, guys.